Hello, my name is Praveen Yadav. I am making this video for an Indian economic policy assignment. The issue which I have took is the fiscal deficit. India's fiscal deficit remain as a focal point of an economic discussion, with and recent projections suggesting a challenges in meeting the set target. Let's deep dive in this involving of fiscal landscape and the government's response to these challenges. Indus rating and research analysis indicates that the fiscal deficit for the current fiscal year may exceed the targeted 5.9% of GDP and could reach 6%. Despite of these tax collections factors such as the higher than the anticipated revenue expenditure and the other than the expected nominal GDP growth rate indicates these projections. The government's recent approval for the first supplementary demand for the grants totaling to 53,378 crores underscores the increased spending commitment. While the likelihood further supplements the demand, the revenue expenditure is expected to surpass the budgeted estimate by over rupees 2 lakh crores. A significant portion of this increased expenditure is attributed to a higher spending by the select ministries and recopying of over 28,000 crores of contingency fund of India. Notably, the priority areas such as food, fertilizers, and LPG subsidies, along with the Manrega, have received additional allocation. Under Manrega's expenditure has surged with nearly 80,000 crores spent by the government by December 19, surpassing the budget estimate of rupees 60,000 crores. The government supplementary demand include a top-up of rupees 14,524 crores for the scheme, reflecting the highlighted spending of the critical welfare. Despite the challenges, the Indian government remained committed toward the fiscal consolidation. In the budget speech for the fiscal year 2024-25, Nirmala Sitharaman had reiterated that the government's resolve to reduce the fiscal deficit below 4.5% by 25-26. The fiscal deficit target for FY25 is set at 5.1% of GDP, reflecting the adherence of the consolidated path. To finance the fiscal deficit in FY25, the government anticipates the growth and the net market borrowings at dated securities at 14.13 and 11.75 crores respectively, both lower than FY24. The finance minister outlined the total receipts excluding the borrowings and total expenditure FY25 along with the tax receipt projection at 26.02 lakh crores. Sitharaman revised the fiscal deficit target for FY24 to 5.8% of the GDP, improving the budget estimates despite the modernization in nominal growth estimates. The revised total receipts, other than the borrowings and the total expenditure figures, indicate the disciplined approach to the fiscal management. The data from the CAG that the India's fiscal deficit during first 9 months of FY24 stood at 9.82 trillion, representing the 55% of the annual estimates. Despite the highlighted government spending, higher tax receipts and the non-tax revenue contributed to decline in the fiscal deficit, signaling an effective fiscal management. India's fiscal deficit situation reflects a balancing act between addressing the immediate spending needs and ensuring the long-term fiscal sustainability. The government's commitments towards the fiscal consolidation, coupled with the prudent expenditure and revenue augmentation efforts, lays the groundwork for navigating the fiscal challenges and fostering the inclusive economic growth. Uh, at the end, I like to highlight some revenue expenditures which the government make, like the direct benefit transfers and subsidies, and subsidizing the electricity and the water, which the government is and also waiver of the agricultural loan, which is basically the loan which increases the debt to GDP ratio of the central government, and also many state governments are taking heavily loans more than their earnings, and through which they are not able to repay. The government should avoid such subsidies at a larger end and think of a long-term vision with investing the same money in the capital expenditure so that the economic growth can happen. Thank you very much.